My name is Dave Fannin. I'm the owner of the Body Firm Personal Training Fitness Boot Camps located in Fort Worth and Hurst-Colleyville, Texas.
I don't think he really realized how far he actually had come until he started putting it down on paper.
Yeah.
And that was when he started coming up with the headline of the whole thing, from janitor to
Fitness business owner?
business
That's
owner.
it. Yeah. I mean, I did. I spent 15 years mopping floors and wiping down equipment for health clubs for someone. I mean, yeah. I mean, 15 years.
Long time. But he got there.
Yeah. And
Well,
putting that
and
together, yeah.
It wouldn't have been the same if he hadn't. I don't think he would be as far as he is now had he not had that extra bump from MPE.
Last year I applied and was chosen for finalist of the MP Member of the Year contest, which was a good thing since the year earlier when Shanna won, I said, that's where I'm going to be next year. So I spent a year telling my wife, I'm going to win.
Warning me.
Yeah.
He was going to win the car.
I'm going to win the car. I don't, and that was I was like, guess what I'm going to win? A car. So I went forward. But the good thing about having the contest was from the first to the second year was knowing that I wanted to compete in that drove me forward each day. I mean, I wrote it down that I'm going to win mega training in October of 2009, last year. And I just, each day I would just grind it out. And, it really helped the blows, when your numbers aren't what they should be. It helped me to think forward that I know I'm going to be here in October, November. So it drove me forward. And then when I was having to put the package together 3 days before, it really gave me an idea of where I'd come from. If you look at what you did in the beginning, we knew we had no list. We had files that we had to compile, but we didn't have everybody's name. We had never done any direct mail. It really gave me a sense of what we had put into play, how far we had come. It was absolutely essential. And then there's the event that I've never gotten up and spoken in front of a lot of people. And it's one thing to talk in front of people for weight loss, but in talking in front of your peers, people that you admire and respect, and you and Eric and John Duquesne watching, and I'm like, oh my God. Obviously, I don't know if you could tell I was nervous. But it was well worth it. And, because, 3 years before I'd been mopping the floor and, and then that's a long way. And yeah, I wouldn't have done it on my own. Impossible. So.
Well, that even gives you an idea of how much he wanted that, because getting up in front of people like that would have been nothing he ever would have done before. But he was motivated.
Yeah. It was a nice car. And I think that's it. Hud Allred owns New Wave Fitness over in Dallas. I always like to look around and see what's going on around me, because other people are doing things that I can use. And he constantly was at the top of the search engines, and his site always got better, and he seemed to always be getting, every month there was something new. There's nutrition, and then there were success stories, and then there was another free report and it was always getting better. And I thought, okay, I keep looking up New Wave Fitness, I'm going to look up Hud Allred. And the first thing that came up was a video of you interviewing him on YouTube. And he was like, thanks to you guys, this program, this MPE is going to be worth millions of dollars to me over a lifetime. And I was like, that's it. That's
want
it.
that. I
That's
want
what I
that.
want, you know? And that I grabbed the phone and I was over, you know, at the studio and I was like, I've got to get in. I've got to be in platinum. You know, whatever it is. And she's like, that's not how it works. There's a lot of stuff and you got to apply. And, you know, I was like, okay, but here's my number and call me back.
And here's my credit card.
Yeah, here's my credit card. Just don't lose it. So that was the beginning. And then we went through Gold Rush, and of course I was, you know, great program.
You wanted to do that initially, the first year, but we
So
didn't have all the
overwhelming.
backbone. We didn't have the
There was
infrastructure.
no way. No, not for me. You know, at the time I was still training 12, 14 hours a day. And in January, there's just, you know, but there were other people doing it and doing well. And then VIP came up, and I knew that you just need, you know, you have to invest in yourself. You have to put it in there to move forward. And everything that was coming was unique, you know, and cutting edge. And then once I was in VIP, and there was no reason really to do any marketing or to go forward with any of that until we had something that we could put all of the names that were coming in, even if they didn't buy right then, so we could put them on the list. So we went into infusion, you know, for $5,000, you know, that because we were, you know, I guess the guinea pigs, and it was so ugly. It was so ugly.
It was painful.
Yeah, to get that thing installed, and you know.
Well, that's your enthusiasm for NPE, though, was he tore me out of my bed after having had a baby so I could sit in the foyer of the hospital and watch the web conference?
The webinar. For infusion.
It's like,
So, yeah.
it was very
I forgot
surreal.
about that. Oh, yeah, because she needed
No.
to be there because she had to approve the purchase. you
Well,
know?
and I was asking them questions and stuff about,
I remember that.
Yeah.
You did,
I
yeah.
chimed in a couple times just to, I can't even remember what I had asked about, but, you know, because I just had a baby.
There's that.
So, but it was, I mean, it was informative. And in my mind, I thought, this isn't something we need to do right now. Because I just had a baby. But I also knew he's going to give them $5,000. And there was nothing I could do about it.
And it's so worth it. So getting that thing installed, we were in that studio
Oh, that little studio. And I had the baby.
in July.
I forget, what were I guess somebody must have been watching the girls.
Somebody was watching the girls, and we would go on there. Sean would call. We'd get on
Because it
another
was long
webinar.
enough that, I mean, I was nursing, and so I was like, I can't leave the baby with somebody at this moment. How old was he? Was he even like a month old?
No, it was brutal,
was-
but it was hot in that studio.
Oh yeah, there wasn't any air conditioning.
Not yet. So this is where we got started, right here. 400 square feet. I paid $400 in rent per month, utilities, everything included, and bought the equipment for $500. This is some beautiful Weeder in-home, dumbbells, and as you can see, it's nice. It's everything you need to get started. And in this same space right here is where my wife and I installed infusion. I'm working. Okay. Well, it's just been a hell of a ride, and as much as I promised myself that I would get too upset, it's just when you start here, and you're punching out day in and day out, and then you finally have something that's pretty, like I tell people, I'm not an emotional guy, but it's been hard but rewarding. And this is where Tracy and I put infusion into play with Gabriel, Cranky, and two small children that were, 2 and 1, and he was an infant. And so we did it right here. And we're here. So It's a long road, but I'm pretty happy with it. I was doing the numbers in my head, you know, from the moment that I started working with you guys. We're looking at, I was bringing in around 12,000 a month, you know, which was great, you know, for me training people, but as we know, if I stepped in front of a bus, that was gone. You know, that's, you know, we went from one studio and me basically training all the clients and making about 12,000 a month to, and being locked in 12, 14 hours a day, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. To 2 facilities. We generated $51,000 last month. You know, that's, so we basically, 6 times the income, you know, per month, you know, in 2 years. That's pretty, 24 months, you know, that's pretty good, especially considering the economy, you know, if you think about it, yeah. Every day is a challenge, and it's hard to put my finger on it, but there's a lot of support there too. And you know, that knowing that other fitness business owners are going through the same thing. And I know that in an emergency, it's literally like a hotline. I mean, you guys may feel like you're far away, but there's never been a time that, you know, any crisis is covered. Like with the cancer. You know, picking up the phone, this is where I'm at, what do I need to do? A game plan is laid out within 15 to 20 minutes.
He's not on his own.
No,
He's not struggling to figure it out.
no. In January, I was diagnosed with cancer, and the options are pretty ugly. You know, what's available in the States. And also our operating, because of, you know, going to 2 clubs, our operating funds were dwindling. And I knew that I had a big expense coming up, and also that,
Because you had chosen to do the alternative treatment.
yeah, that I would need cash, you know, to operate on, and that I would not be in the mix. So,
During the time that you were in
yeah, that I was
Mexico.
gone, yeah. And I was talking to Tracy, and she said, well, call Sean. So, you know, I called you, got on the phone with Camellia and you said, we'll have a plan for you. And you got back with me within like 3-4 days, and you said, this is the Raise the Rates campaign. You've got it, and write the letter, send it to me. You need to send it out by the 7th, which it was like a week later, and send it to me. I'll approve it. I'll send it back to you. You get it in the mail. And because of what we had already, you know, we did direct mail. We had everything in place.
I think we even included like a sheet that had testimonials in it.
So everything was ready for an emergency. So got off the phone with you, started putting things into place, started running the campaign, and it was it did what it's supposed to do, which is increase the amount of cash that we had on hand for operating, locked people into longer agreements, which is good for them and good for us. And it also gave me a lot of, and we raised our rates. And no one said no. I was closing at 80, 90% going in, and I was closing at 80 to 90% at the new rates. It gave me a lot of confidence that what I'm asking for these services is it's a good investment. But the long story short is that, you know, I had a true crisis, and it was fixed immediately and well, you know, with one phone call. You know, I can't imagine, the number of times that I've picked up the phone or sent an email and said, I have a situation, I need help. And it was there, you know, 5, 8 times, you know, in the last 2 years that, you know, it's been fixed. And this was the big one, you know, and just what I've gone through over the last 2 years building this business. I didn't have to stay in the States. I was able to take a chance, go out of country, go for a better procedure,
Better quality of life.
and come back cancer-free, you know. But it might not have been possible if I hadn't been out on my own. You know, I would have been stuck. So, yeah, it's life-changing.